Zach here, full-time reseller of all things underappreciated, used, and undervalued, such as different goods, clothing, and shoes. And today I'm out doing some local thrifting. It is the first Monday after the holiday weekend, and so hard to say how the picking will go, but hopefully I'll come into some goods to source to resell for profit. Follow along. Thanks for watching. All right, this is my local Goodwill. Hopefully we find some goods. All right, so I always like to come to the back corner of my local Goodwill. I look for the bigger stuff to do more local sales, such as like snowboards, wave boards, different things like that that are hard to ship. And not seeing anything like that today, but worth looking. Okay, always searching in the pots and pans, looking for cast iron. Not seeing much this morning, but keep your eyes out. Cast iron is worth some money if you get the right brands like Wagner and Griswold. Another thing I like to look for is vintage Pyrex. I tend to skip on the clear dishes. I like to look for the ones that might be milk glass with a pattern print. Those tend to be worth more money. So I always like to go and scan through the electronics section. I'm looking for DVD VCR combos, expensive vintage commercial grade kitchen appliances that are small and easy to ship. And unfortunately, not seeing much of anything today worth picking up in this section. All right, so about 80% of what I sell is used clothes and shoes, so that is definitely something I go look at. But I tend to look at the shoe department a little later because most people are rushing back to the hard goods section. So I try to get to that area first, and then I come to the shoes and then the clothes last. Just a little tip for you resellers. All right, so I always like to look over the backpack area. You never know if you might find a very high-end hiking backpack or an expensive purse. It's something I just keep an eye out for, not something I deal in a whole lot, but definitely worth looking. All right, so now I'm over in the clothes section. I like to start with the long sleeves first, as they usually garnish more valuable sales. I'm gonna spin through a couple hundred shirts to see if I find something worthy of a pick. All right, so I love selling Gorp or outdoor adventure gear, and this is a pretty nice North Face windbreaker rain jacket, but it is not a very nice price for a thrift store, so gonna pass on it. All right, I'm in the polo section, and I'm simply really just looking for high-end premium golf shirts. I don't buy too much Peter Millar, Travis Matthews, as they're kind of saturated. But I like Roback and Grayson. Those are great shirts. However, I don't find them that often, but keep an eye out for those. Good sellers. All right, this is BKE or mall brand buckle jeans. I do sell a lot of BKE jeans. Unfortunately, price is not real kind. It's gonna skip on these. Not a very good size anyway. All right, so here's an example of known brands. This is some Lululemon men's khaki pants. I'm gonna actually skip on them because they have some stains. The price isn't terrible for pants. They are like performance golf apparel, but be on the lookout for that little horseshoe emblem. Lululemon is very discreet. Just haven't been selling a whole lot of it lately, and gonna skip on it. So I don't deal in a lot of literature, but I have had some recent success buying very old, great novels from like Steinbeck and Hemingway, but they gotta be the very old, antique, historic copies from like 1930s, 1940s, and 50s. Don't tend to find those here at the Goodwill much, and nor would I want to pay the Goodwill prices, so I'm gonna stick to buying books at garage sales. All right, so occasionally I like to burn through the t-shirts, looking for concert t-shirts, old sports t-shirts, and mainly t-shirts that have single stitching, which is a sign it's a much older shirt. And it's not something I deal a whole lot in, but once in a while I find something worth a pick. All right, so not a lot of success at my local Goodwill. Looked over the clothes section in both men's, women's, and children's, checked over the hard goods, and just didn't come up with a whole lot. I live in a Tri-City area of over 100,000 people, and this is the only Goodwill we have to support this community, so I think it gets hit a little harder, and because of that, I think the management knows it, and a lot of things are priced up, so keep following along. Hopefully I'll find some more at the next stop. All right, making my way to another local thrift store. This is a smaller establishment, but hopefully we'll have some better luck sourcing some goods to resell for profit. All right, started first in the shoe section. Here's a pair of New Balances. They're just a little old and too beat up. All right, digging pretty hard here at this smaller thrift store. Kind of striking out again today. Not sure if it's just Monday and many of these thrift stores have been hit hard already. Gonna keep looking around and then cut my losses and move on to the next store. All right, so this is an older Motorola cable modem. Looks to be in pretty good shape. I'm gonna go ahead and do some research on it. It might be worth grabbing. I'm not sure though with the price being 19 bucks. All right, so struck out again, unfortunately. As I've said before, reselling just isn't easy. So don't give up if you're having some struggles finding goods to resell. It's about consistency and not giving up and staying optimistic and always living in a mindset of abundance. So gonna move on to the next store. All right, so I just pulled up to my last thrift store of the day. This is a thrift store just right down the road from my house. It is sponsored by a church. All proceeds go to the church and also helping the underfunded and underprivileged. So it's a good thing. I've said this and I'll say it again. Get on good terms with the people that run the thrift stores you deal with. Have rapport with them. I've done that with this store over the past year, and now they let me go into their storage room and seek out different stuff that's just been recently dropped off before it's actually hit the shelves. That's been tremendously helpful for my reselling business. So it never hurts to be friendly. You can't go wrong with being nice to people. And so I'm gonna run in here and hopefully find maybe something. I've been striking out at both of the previous thrift stores I've been at, but I'm glad that people are getting to see this. Thrifting's not easy. It's not always about hitting home runs, and there's a lot of days you'll go out to source in the wild and find very little to nothing. So today may just be one of those days, but I'm glad I'm giving you a realistic look at how it can actually be, especially if you're interested in getting into this for a living or for a side hustle. It's work, and it's not just treasure hunting. So follow along a little longer, see what we can come up with. All right, gonna cross our fingers and hope for the best. All right, as you can see, this is a smaller thrift store, but I always come in and burn through most of the shirts and the pants, and then I'll go visit with the ladies that manage it, see if they got anything worth grabbing. This was my mom when I was a kid. I'm just kidding, my mom was a saint. All right, so struck out today, didn't find really anything to thrift. That's just how it goes. That's the nature of the beast. Don't give up if you're thinking about thrifting. It is a hard shake some days. It can be very rewarding as long as you've got the determination, the desire, and the need to keep looking. So hopefully this was a good experience for you to realize that not all resellers find things that are profitable every day. And that's the way it is. So thanks again for joining. If you like this video, please hit like, make a comment, or subscribe. This is Zach with the Underground Safari. And again, I appreciate you watching.